A rare winter storm is taking shape across the southern United States, and when I say rare, I mean it. We're looking at the potential for measurable snow from Texas through Alabama and into the Carolinas, areas that almost never see accumulation. This weekend into early next week, IV spent the morning analyzing the latest model runs from the National Weather Service, the GFS ensemble, and the European model. And I need to be straight with you. This forecast has significant uncertainty, but the signals are strong enough that we need to discuss it now. Especially if you live in the southeast or have travel plans for Sunday, let me start with what's happening right now, because understanding the current pattern helps explain what's coming. Across northern Ohio near Lake Erie, snow is falling this morning. The lake effect snow machine has been running. Some areas picked up 2 to 4 inches overnight. That system is winding down, but there's another one right behind it. Chicago saw sideways snow yesterday. Blizzard conditions right off Lake Michigan. That viral video making the rounds, that's a preview of the active pattern we are in. Minnesota has been dealing with this Arctic air for days now. Wind chills running well below zero. That cold air mass is about to expand dramatically. The contrast across the country right now is striking. While the Great Lakes and upper Midwest are locked in winter, much of the South has been relatively mild. That's about to change. Here's what's driving this whole setup. The jet stream. Right now, it is angled out of the northwest. That configuration is pulling Arctic air straight out of Canada and funneling it into the eastern two-thirds of the country. This isn't a quick-moving system. It's going to park itself over the Great Lakes through the weekend. By Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have a large upper-level low-pressure system centered over the Great Lakes region. And here's where it gets interesting for the southeast. That low is going to act like a magnet, drawing cold air south. At the same time, we are going to have moisture moving out of the Gulf of Mexico. When Arctic air meets Gulf moisture, you get snow. The question isn't if they meet. The question is where and how intense. Let me walk through the timeline. Because timing is everything with this system. Tonight and Friday, the first Arctic blast continues to push into the East Coast. Areas in the southeast that are still relatively mild right now. You're about to feel winter. Friday night temperatures are going to drop hard. Friday into early Saturday, scattered snow showers across the Great Lakes. Nothing major. Light accumulations, some snow squalls that could reduce visibility on the highways. Lake effect snow near Lake Michigan. If you're driving through northern Indiana or western Michigan on Friday, be aware. Saturday morning is when things start to get complicated. We could see snow showers developing in the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, possibly as far south as the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's the leading edge of the cold air colliding with available moisture. Saturday night into Sunday morning. This is the critical window. This is when the southeast winter storm could develop. Here's what we're watching. A sharp temperature gradient is going to set up from North Carolina back through Louisiana. That meteorologists speak for a battle zone. Warm air trying to hold its ground against Arctic air pushing south. Along that boundary, snow. The National Weather Service has moisture moving inland from the Gulf Coast Saturday night. Low pressure developing somewhere along that temperature boundary. If that low tracks close to the coast, we are looking at a significant winter weather event. If it tracks further inland, the snow spreads west but may be lighter near the coast. Computer models right now are split. And I need to be honest about that. The GFS model is showing a more aggressive scenario. 2 to 5 inches of snow from Louisiana through Georgia. Snow bands extending up the east coast into southern New England. That would be a major winter storm for the south. The European model is showing a weaker, more coastal system. Less snow overall, mainly affecting Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Why the disagreement? Southern winter storms are notoriously difficult to forecast. We don't get many of them. Models have a lot of historical data to work with, and small changes in the track of that low-pressure system make huge differences in who sees snow and who sees rain. But here's what's changed in the last 24 hours. The probability has increased. Yesterday, we were looking at 10 to 20% chance of measurable snow across Alabama and Mississippi. This morning, that jumped to 60 to 80% in some areas. The GFS ensembles, which run multiple scenarios and average them together, are showing much higher confidence. Along the East Coast from Virginia Beach up through southern New England, probabilities are now 60 to 70% for at least an inch of snow. That is a significant increase. I am not ready to give you exact snowfall amounts. It's too early for that. We need to see how the high-resolution models handle this tomorrow. But I can tell you this, if the GFS model scenario plays out, we are looking at travel impacts across the southeast on Sunday, potentially major impacts. States in the Deep South don't have snowplows. They don't have the infrastructure to clear roads quickly. 2 inches of snow in Georgia causes more disruption than 6 inches in Minnesota. That's just reality. For those in Alabama hoping for snow, your odds are better than they've been in years. Georgia, you might finally get that winter storm. Savannah, you are in the possible zone. Brunswick, Georgia, accumulation is possible but not guaranteed. It depends on that coastal track. Florida, you are not likely to see snow, but you are going to feel the cold. More on that in a moment. New England, specifically southern New England, you could see impacts from this if the system tracks close enough to the coast. The Patriots and Texans game Sunday could see snow. That's still uncertain. Sunday afternoon, if this system develops as the models suggest, snow continues from South Carolina and Georgia back into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. That's when the East Coast sees the heaviest potential. Let me give you the scenarios as I see them right now. Best case, meaning least disruptive, the European model is correct. We get a coating to maybe 2 inches across parts of Georgia and the Carolinas. Minor impacts, easy to manage. Worst case for travel, the GFS model verifies. We get 5 to 6 inches in some areas from the Gulf Coast through the southeast. Roads become impassable. Power outages possible from ice and wet snow on trees. Major travel delays Sunday into Monday. Most likely scenario somewhere in between. 1 to 3 inches across a swath from Alabama through the Carolinas. Enough to cause problems, enough to make Sunday travel difficult, but not a historic storm. I'll know more tomorrow. We should have a much clearer picture once the high-resolution models come in. Check back for an update. Now let's talk about the cold, because even if the snow forecast busts, the cold is a certainty. 3 Arctic blasts are lined up. The first one is already here, affecting the Ohio Valley and pushing into the East Coast tonight. Wind chills below 0 across Minnesota and Wisconsin. That's nothing new for you folks. You've seen this before. The second blast, the big one, arrives Saturday and Sunday. This is the one that's going to reach deep into the south. Wind chills below 0 for most of the northern tier of the country. That includes you, Chicago. Northern Ohio, you are in for brutal cold Saturday night. But here is what's unusual. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, temperatures are going to drop below freezing, well below freezing in many areas. Sunday morning could see widespread 20s across the Deep South, low 30s in northern Florida. Monday morning is the worst of it for everybody. Wind chills 30 to 35 below 0 in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Even if you were used to cold, that's dangerous cold. Frostbite in minutes on exposed skin. Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio Valley. You're looking at wind chills well below 0 Monday morning. Northern Ohio near Cleveland, Lake Erie is going to make those wind chills brutal. In Florida, I know you are reading this and thinking it won't affect you much, but wind chills in the low 20s and 30s are possible across central and northern Florida. That's cold enough for falling iguanas. That's not a joke. When temperatures drop into the 40s, iguanas become lethargic and fall out of trees. Below 40, they go into a cold, stunned state. The third Arctic blast arrives Tuesday and Wednesday. This one affects mainly the northern tier. Midwest, Great Lakes, Northeast. Another reinforcing shot of cold air. Temperatures should start to moderate by mid-week across the south, but the northern states stay cold through Thursday. Looking ahead to late January, around the 24th or 25th, indications are we could see another significant Arctic outbreak, possibly accompanied by heavy snow across the Midwest and northern plains. Too early for details. But the pattern suggests winter isn't done. Now for the practical information. What you need to do. If you in the southeast from Texas through the Carolinas, monitor this forecast closely. We'll have a much better handle on snow amounts by Friday evening. If you have travel plans for Sunday, consider flexibility. Have a backup plan. Check your emergency supplies now, not Saturday night when everyone else is at the store. Flashlights, batteries, water, non-perishable food. Basic medications. If you're on prescription medications that need to be filled, do it Friday. For those in areas that could see snow, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas, do not attempt to drive in snow and ice if you've never done it before. It's far more dangerous than it appears. Every winter we see accidents from people who underestimate how difficult it is to control a vehicle on snow-covered roads. If you must drive, slow down significantly. Give yourself 3 times the normal following distance. Brake early and gently. No sudden movements. Keep a winter emergency kit in your vehicle. Blankets, water, snacks, phone charger. Reach out to northern friends if you're unsure how to handle cold and snow. They've been dealing with this their whole lives. There's no shame in asking for advice. In fact, it is smart. For the elderly and vulnerable populations, check on your neighbors. Hypothermia is a real risk with temperatures this low, even in the south. Make sure heating systems are working. Make sure people have warm clothing and blankets. Protect your pipes. Anything below freezing for extended periods can cause pipes to freeze and burst. That is true even in the south where homes aren't built for sustained cold. Let faucets drip overnight Sunday into Monday. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate. Bring pets inside. Do not leave animals outside in these temperatures, even if they are normally outdoor animals. This cold is extreme. For those in the northern states who are used to this, Minnesota, Wisconsin, northern Michigan, you know the drill. But this Monday morning, cold is going to test even your preparation. Limit time outside. Dress in layers. Cover all exposed skin. Chicago, UV seen worse, but Saturday and Sunday are going to be unpleasant. Make sure your vehicle is winterized. Check your antifreeze. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Prevents fuel line freeze-ups. New England, you re-hoping for snow. The Patriots game might deliver, but the track of this system is still uncertain. Don T. Make firm plans based on snow yet. Wait for Friday's updated forecast. Knoxville, Tennessee, East Tennessee in general, you are in a marginal zone. You could see snow Sunday, or you could see mostly rain changing to snow at the end. Too close to call right now. That freezing line is going to be critical. West Georgia, you've been asking for snow. You might get it, but be careful what you wish for. 2 inches of snow shuts down Atlanta. It's not New England. One more thing about the cold. This isn't a fear-mongering. This is just meteorology. When you have Arctic air this far south with this kind of intensity, people aren't prepared. Homes in the south aren't insulated for sustained cold. Heating systems that work fine at 40 degrees struggle at 20. That S when you see problems. This is also when you see health impacts. The back and forth temperature swings we've been experiencing. 70 degrees one day, 40 the next. Back up to 60. That affects people. Sinus issues, migraines, respiratory problems. That pattern ends Sunday. We relocking into sustained cold. Let me address something I am seeing in the weather community. Every winter storm forecast, someone says it's rare, unprecedented, historic. That S gotten old. I understand the frustration. This situation is unusual, but it's not unprecedented. We've seen similar setups before. The blizzard of 93. March storm of 93, technically. That was the last time we saw this kind of widespread snow potential across the deep south with this kind of Arctic air behind it. Back in 93, snow fell from Texas to Maine. Some areas got 30 inches. Temperatures dropped to 15 below zero. Storm surge on the coast. That was a historic storm. What we re-looking at Sunday is not that. This is a winter weather event. Possibly a winter storm for some areas, but it's not the blizzard of 93. Let's keep perspective. However, just because it's not record-breaking doesn't mean it's not significant. For areas that rarely see snow, 2 inches matters. For people who've never driven in snow, it's dangerous. That's why we were discussing it. I'm going to give you my confidence level on different aspects of this forecast. Because uncertainty matters. High confidence in the Arctic air. That is coming, no question. Models are in complete agreement. Brutal cold, Monday morning. Very high confidence in some form of winter weather across the southeast Sunday, snow, ice, or mix. That S happening, maybe 90% confidence, moderate confidence in the track of the low-pressure system. The models are converging somewhat, but there's still a 200-mile spread in possible tracks. That S huge for snow forecasts, maybe 60% confidence in the general track, low confidence in exact snowfall amounts. Too many variables. Where the low tracks, how quickly cold air moves in, moisture availability. We'll have better confidence Friday. Right now, maybe 40% confidence in any specific snowfall forecast. Very low confidence in anything beyond 7 days. Anyone telling you they know what S happening January 25th is guessing. We can see patterns, we can see tendencies, but specifics are impossible at that range. Here S what I trust. Data from the National Weather Service, NOAA observations, satellite imagery, surface observations from weather stations, model trends over multiple runs. When models consistently trend in one direction over several cycles, that S meaningful. What I don't trust. Any single model run. Outlier scenarios that only one model shows. Long-range specifics. Social media hype. Tomorrow we'll have another update with refined snowfall potential. By Friday evening, we should be able to give you much more specific information on who gets snow and how much. Saturday morning, we'll know for certain. For now, here, your action plan. Monitor the forecast. Prepare for cold regardless of where you are. If you are in the southeast snow zone, prepare for possible winter weather Sunday. Have supplies ready, adjust travel plans if needed. Check on vulnerable neighbors. This isn't the apocalypse. It's winter. But it is winter in places that don't usually see winter. That requires attention. Stay safe, stay informed, and check back tomorrow for